who has been one of the MVPs for Canyons, will be batting cleanup. And then Asmarine Anderson will be in the 5 spot. Michaela Aguilar, Alexis Ramirez, Alexis Avila, and Katie Klinkenbroomer will round out the lineup for the Cougars. Defensively for Cypress College, well, you have to start in the circle with Destiny Vasquez. And behind the plate, her battery mate, Val Romano. Over at first is Kiani Puailoa. At second is Jenny Vasquez. At third is Alexis Zavala. And shortstop is Sydney McCollum. Left to right, the outfield goes Nicole Wise, Melanie Okazaki, and Emma Walker.
You know, Corey Naylor was here. He would say the player of the year is currently at shortstop for Cypress. Brad Pickler, in my interview, said the player of the year is currently over at shortstop for Cypress. But do you know that Val Romano was not supposed to be the catcher for the Cypress team? They didn't have any place to put her, man. That's why she's catching. She's had a great season when you look at that team.
And you talk about Sydney McCollum. She ended up batting .419 on the year, 24 stolen bases, 1 home run, 44 RBIs, drew 10 walks, only struck out a total of 3 times on the year, an on-base percentage of .457. But then you also look at her defensively, and what has she done? Well, Sydney McCollum, a total of 7 errors on the year, a .949 fielding percentage for Cypress College. Total chances of 138.
And we talked about Danielle Chapman. You and I both said that we think we had seen her in the PGF. You look at her this year for College of the Canyon, batting .477, which ranked her 4th in her conference. And in the CCC Super Regional race, she's one of the top ones out there. Drives in 42 ribbies, 12 stolen bases, and an on-base percentage of .514. We got some talent in this first game.
And you want to talk about talent and shortstop overall at the Southern California level? Well, Paige Johnson of Antelope Valley College, State Player of the Year, ended up moving on with Antelope Valley College as our national anthem will be played.
You know, Ryan, in our interview with Brad Pickler, and you can actually go to the archives and catch all the interviews we did with the coaches going to the Seaport Regionals. Ed Ford and myself took a little tour and visited with all the coaches. But Brad Pickler, I mean, I know you gave this weird look to me when I said Brad had said to me he would hope the team would lose 1 early in the season. Thing is, we talked to Lisa, we talked to Cody. I know it sounds sort of cliche, but this is a huge first game for them, and it is a huge first game for Santiago against Palomar. Can you imagine if either one of those teams were to not make it out of this first round? They play each other in the loser's game tomorrow, and somebody goes home 0-2. So, I mean, when you look at your opponent in this game, and I'm going to look over at this College Canyon team, I think really what you've got to realize is drop a few bunts, get some runners on base against one of the top pitchers in the state. Undefeated. ERA, just smidge above the calories in the donuts you ate today when you think about it. That's really the thing you've got to look at here. You've got to be able to get runners on base and really feel like we can play against Cypress even if they are undefeated.
You talk about the pitching staff for Cypress College. You start with Destiny Vasquez, who is in the circle, 24-0 in 144 innings pitched. She has 123 strikeouts, a K/7 rate, of 5.97, ERA of 1.36. It doesn't drop off from there, Mark. Right under her, Vanessa Ledesma and Haley Hoffman, combined ERAs. Well, actually, let's just go individual. Vanessa Ledesma, 1.85 ERA. Haley Hoffman, 0.28.
Haley Hoffman's got a wicked screwball, and she's the relief pitcher. Of course, Ed Ford's on the air with us. He's the doubter of Northern California. You know, the team that I picked to come out of Northern California, he scoffs at my choice. Watch out for the number one. Number one, right, Ed? San Mateo in Northern California?
Yes, they are ranked number 1.
Now batting first for College of the Canyon. First baseman number
So we're going to get things started with Sienna Vanoy, starting first baseman for Canyons College. And she'll be coming up to the plate, batting right-handed to get this Super Regional underway. Once again, it's Destiny Vasquez in the circle, Val Romano behind the plate, Keanu Puailoa over at first, as this one goes in at the ankles for 1-0, and that's how we start things off. Jenny Vasquez at second, Alexis Zavala at third, and Sydney McCullum is at short. Nicole Wise, Melanie Okazaki, and Emma Walker, the outfield left to right. This one's fouled off and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sienna Vanoy. She'll be followed by Melanie Abzun and Danielle Chapman.
You look at Savoy, currently batting .419, .493 on base percentage, a number we talk a lot about here.
Swing and a miss from Vanoy, and it's 1-2.
And when you look at Vanoy, she's only struck out 8 times this entire season. So somebody who's got a great eye up at the plate.
Vasquez up and high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Vanoy. Just underway from Cypress College. It's the 2017 SoCal Super Regional here on SportsNetUSA.net. Vasquez, the 2-2. This one's popped foul and behind the plate out of play. Stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm Ryan Osborn, joined by Mark Pavlovich and Ed Ford here at Cypress College. First game of the afternoon between the home Cypress Chargers and the visiting College of the Canyons Cougars. Staying in there is Sienna Vanoy as she foul tips this one away.
You know, when you look at College of the Canyons, they don't hit a lot of home runs, but they're consistent through the lineup. You look at a leadoff hitter that has 7 home runs. One of the top power hitters on the team to start this game for College of the Canyons.
Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Vanoy goes after it. The ball gets away from Val Romano, but she's able to throw over to first and record the strikeout. Sienna Vanoy.
What a pretty pitch. If you ever wonder what it's like to throw an off-speed pitch, put a little butter on your hands. Before you do that, throw a fastball. Then put the butter on your hand, throw the exact same pitch, but that ball's going to come out just a little wobbly and a little slower, and the person's going to be watching arm speed, and the ball's going to get there a little late. What a beautiful off-speed pitch.
Vasquez to home to start off Melanie Abzun, and she's able to just get a tip on it. No balls and 1 strike. We have 1 out in the top of the first inning. Abzun followed by Chapman, and if the inning stays alive, it's Heidi Ludi. Fouled off. 1 ball, or making no balls, and 2 strikes.
Ryan, it's interesting that your number 2 hitter on your team is really your speed person. She leads this team in stolen bases. A little surprising that hitter that normally advances people is your speed player that's at the plate.
And she reaches at this one. It's going to find the hole just behind short. Stopping at first, taking a big bluff over towards second is Abzun. She is on first with a single. That's the first runner of the afternoon for College of the Canyons. And Mark, it just finds that no man's land in between left field and short.
Yeah, and we'll see now if you're College of the Canyons, if they're going to put a play on early. Again, Val Romano's a great catcher for Cypress. I found it interesting. Brad said she wasn't supposed to be our catcher. It just worked out that way. We'll see if they test her arm here early.
Vasquez delivers the 0-1 as Chapman swings through it. No balls, 1 strike. Abzun over at first. She'll be held on by Kiani Puailoa.
Chapman batting .477.
Alexis Zavala creeping in from third. And Abzoon takes an extended leadoff after the pitch, 0-2.
Here's the number that jumps out, though, when you look at Danielle Chapman. 1 strikeout for the entire season. So you've got somebody at the plate that can put the ball in play. This is why the runner who's on the base now may take off.
And there she goes, Abzoon down to second. The throw is on line, but she's just able to beat it out. And Melanie Abzoon is down at second with the stolen base. Chapman at the plate with a 2-1 count.
And, of course, when you've got a hitter at the plate you trust, Ryan, like you do with Chapman, you can send that runner because she's probably going to get a piece of the ball.
Vasquez, the 2-1. That one spins on the inner half. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out with Melanie Abzoon at second. Heidi Ludi is in the on-deck circle. College of the Canyons in the dark blue, Cypress in the home pinstripes. As this one is dunked over to shortstop, making the catch is Sydney McCullum, as she is able to outstretch for that one and snag it. Down goes Danielle Chapman Ludi to the plate.
Now batting fourth, right fielder number 16.
You know, people will say that softball is a great deal like dance. It could be modern, it could be jazz, or it could be ballet. A poetic ballet move by the player of the year, some people call her.
Showing bunt is Ludi. Offers at it, no balls and 1 strike.
Of course, then again, when Santiago Canyon comes in, we're going to get somebody else that might be nominated for player of the year.
Ludi steps back in there, left-handed batter, crowds the plate, and takes a look at that one, going outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ludi batting .467, a slugging percentage of .518. She's your traditional left-handed power hitter.
Vasquez, the 1-1. There's a fastball outer corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Vasquez, already to start the game, has been picking her spots to stay away from College of the Canyons hitters.
And she's really been sneaky fast, too, which is something you don't expect out of her.
The 1-2 with 2 outs. Ludi sends this one foul down the third baseline, 1-2. As Marheen Anderson will be up next if Ludi gets on. Melanie Abzoon over at second. Stole a base just a couple moments ago. And so far on the season, as this one gets fouled back, stays 1 ball and 2 strikes for Abzoon. She has 21.
Watch Ludi just pulling out just a little against Vasquez. So if you're Vasquez, you work that outside corner because she knows the lefty is pulling off the plate. If you can pick it on that outside corner, you might get the call against her.
Vasquez now to Ludi. McCullum picks it up over to first. Puailoa is able to dig it out and record the 3rd out of the inning on the ground out. Shortstop to first. That ends the top of the 1st. As we go to the bottom of the 1st, Cypress will bat next. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 0-0 between College of the Canyons and Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
We've got 2 games today here at the Super Regional. We'll have this game and then a second game. Then tomorrow we show up early, so make sure you're with us early on Saturday because we will have 3 games on Saturday for sure. 11, 1, and 3 on Saturday. And what happens is the 2 teams that play today in this first game, whoever loses will have an early game tomorrow. Their opponent will be the loser of our second game today. Then our second game tomorrow are the 2 winners of these 2 games. And then our third game, Ryan, is the winner from the first game against the loser from the second game. Creates the team that will play on Sunday against the undefeated team, which we could have 2 games Sunday here on SportsNetUSA.net. So we'll be here for 2 games today, 3 games tomorrow, possibly 2 games Sunday to see who will be the representative for the Community College World Series.
As Cypress comes up to the plate, Melanie Okazaki, Sydney McCullum, and Jenny Vasquez will be the first three up for the Cypress Chargers. For College of the Canyons, they're going to start Alexis Ramirez in the circle. And for Ramirez, so far on the year, well, she has a 4.35 ERA and has given up 5 home runs, 76 earned runs overall in 122 innings of work. Ramirez in the circle, Lauren Jimenez behind the plate. Sienna Van Noy will be at first, Katie Klinkenbroomer at second, and Alexis Avila is down at third. In the hole at short, it will be Danielle Chapman with that sidearm delivery, and Asmarheen Anderson in left field. Center field is Melanie Abzoon, and in right is Heidi Looney. Digging in will be Melanie Okazaki, the leadoff hitter for the Cypress Chargers. 42-0. They come into the SoCal Super Regional undefeated in the regular season, undefeated in Orange Empire Conference play, once again clinching the Orange Empire Conference Championship, as they have the previous 3 years, 2015, 2016, and now 2017. 1 ball and no strikes to Okazaki, and she'll take this one for a high strike, 1-1. You look at the past 7 years overall, and the Orange Empire Conference Championships continue to mount up for Cypress, as in the last 7 years they've won 5, and in the last 8 they've won 6. That one's lined over to Chapman at short, and she's able to pick it as it's going by her for the out. Cindy McCullum will be up next on the nice play by Danielle Chapman.
That's where you throw up a glove, Ryan, and you hope that it hits your glove when it's going by. That's the only thing you can hope for.
And when a ball's going past you in that speed, that actually helps you when you throw your glove out there, because the softball has a tendency to stick. If it hits the leather, it sticks to your glove and stays in there. And McCullum will take an inside strike, 0-1. Outfield with Ludi in right, Abzoon in center, and Anderson in left is shaded towards left field. Anderson, good 10 paces from the line. This one's cued into right field for a single. Ludi will pick it up after McCullum takes the second pitch of the at-bat and sends it into right for a single. So Cypress wants to begin stirring the pot here, as Jenny Vasquez will come up next.
Now batting third,
1 out, bottom of the first inning. 0-0 our score between College of the Canyons Cougars and the Cypress Chargers. This is the first game of a doubleheader here on SportsNetUSA.net this afternoon. It'll be Santiago Canyon and Palomar coming up next after this one. There's a strike to Jenny Vasquez, 0-1. Digging back in there is Vasquez. No balls, 1 strike. Now it's 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, bottom of the first. At the plate is Jenny Vasquez, and on the season she's batting .374. Batting cleanup, dunked over to Chapman, turning 2, and they are able to convert as the second baseman, Katie Klinkenbroomer, turns on her heels and is able to fire to first just in time to make the play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base for Cypress. As we go to the top of the second, our score remains at 0 apiece between Canyons and Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
So if you're College of the Canyon, this is where you wanted started. This is the way you wanted to start, to hold Cypress down to nothing to start this game off and be sitting at 0-0 at the end of the one. Most people would say, here's the thing what you do against Cypress. The longer you can take them into a game, the better it's going to work out for you in the long run. And so far, after one, College of the Canyon has to feel good about what they've seen so far against us. You look at somebody that's in the circle, though, Ryan. We talked about this Cypress team. Brad Pickler has the luxury of having 3 solid pitchers on his team. Most teams don't even have the luxury of having 2. Brad can go deep. I mean, if anything happens in this first game, he can turn to Letzema, or he can turn to his freshman superstar reliever to get him out of this game.
Once again, collective ERA for the entire staff of Cypress College is in the low ones, 1.41 overall ERA for the entire pitching staff, 0.28 for Haley Hoffman, 1.85 for Ledesma, and 1.36 for the lady in the circle right now, Miss Vasquez. She'll deliver this one inside to Asmarheen Anderson. Destiny Vasquez has a 1-0 count. Vasquez will get the sign from Romano behind the plate. There's an inside corner strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Down at third is Alexis Zavala, and she's 2 steps away from the line, even with the bag. This one's hit deep by Anderson. Going back on it is Nicole Wise. It's going to go over. Asmarheen Anderson gets a hold of a Destiny Vasquez 1-1 pitch, sends it over the left center field fence, and that will give College of the Canyons a quick and early lead as the Cougars go up 1-0.
Well, and that's the thing. When you look at it, you were concerned that where will that big hit come from? You look at Anderson, another one who has 7 home runs coming into the season. And Ryan, this is the thing with this College of the Canyon team. Nobody's got 15, 16. It's 7, 7, 8, 8, 6, 5. And so you don't look at them as a power hitting team. What happens, though, you get misled when you're in the circle.
There's the strike for Vasquez to Michaela Aguilar. No balls and 1 strike. Talk about those 39 home runs collectively as a team. Swing and a miss by Aguilar. And that is the best of the 4 teams here at the Super Regional. Next closest is Palomar with 32. And right after them is Santiago Canyon. 2-hopper to Zavala. She'll throw across the diamond to Puailoa for the out. So Michaela Aguilar grounds out 5-3. And that's the first out of the bottom of the second inning. 1-0. College of the Canyons is on top of Cypress.
Alexis Ramirez.
Ramirez to the plate. Overall on the season, batting .378. And pops this one foul and out of play. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the second, 1 run on 2 hits for College of the Canyons. No runs on 1 hit for Cypress. Popped up into foul territory. Puailoa calls for it and makes the catch just inside foul ground. So the pop-up for Alexis Ramirez brings us to the second out. And Destiny Vasquez trying to get out of the inning after surrendering that leadoff homer.
Vasquez, who's been the workhorse for this team with 144 innings, then Letzema with 91. Haley Hoffman, only 25 so far in the season, but that's because Brad Pickler has had 2 solid starters that can do anything for him.
Digging back in is Alexis Avila. And takes just inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Katie Klinkenbrummer would be up next if Avila gets on base. Deep at short is Sydney McCullum, the 2-0. This one sent into left center field. Okazaki has to get to it after it bounces off the wall. Getting up to second base easily is Alexis Avila. And she is on second with the double. Another extra base hit in the second inning for College of the Canyons. They have a runner in scoring position with Katie Klinkenbrummer to the plate.
Well, Ryan, we talked about how well all these teams hit. When you think about it, we were talking about Santiago Canyon team batting average of 424. Then you look at College Canyon, 390 is their team batting average coming in. So, I mean, it's really not like you're looking at a team that can't hit the softball coming into this game.
Vasquez. First pitch to Klinkenbrummer is in on the hands, 1-0. Klinkenbrummer batting .299. Has 7 strikeouts and also 13 RBI. She pops this one into the shortstop hole, and making the catch is Sydney McCullum. The pop out ends the inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. College of the Canyons takes a lead over Cypress College 1-0. This is the SoCal Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Remember, right after this game, Santiago Canyon takes on Palomar in the second game here of the Super Regional at Cypress College. And of course, Ryan, we look at it. Ed, I'm going to ask you. I mean, you've seen Cypress play a lot this year. You've seen everybody in the circle. We haven't really seen anybody offensively challenge Cypress College when we've been here so far. They are playing an opponent today that looks like they can match up offensively to them head-to-head.
That would be right, because the games that we've seen, Cypress has, both games were mercy games. The Fullerton game was a mercy game. Also the game with Santiago Canyon to start off the regular Orange Empire Conference. But, you know, as everybody was saying, this is the Super Regionals, and all the teams are fairly well matched up. You know, College of the Canyons is number 9. They got in by beating the number 8 team. So basically, everybody, all the favorites got in, both in Northern California and Southern California. The only real wild card team is in Northern California, and that's in the San Mateo Regional, and that would be Taft College. And we spoke with Taft's first-year head coach, Cassidy Bell, and, you know, she didn't do a lot of scouting in the first round against Monterey. She just said, hey, we haven't seen them, we haven't played them, we're just going to go up there and play our game, and that's what they did.
Leading off the inning is Alexis Zavala, and she takes in the dirt 1-0. Zavala followed by Nicole Wise and Emma Walker, as Cypress went down with the minimum number of batters in the top of the first inning. That one is in the strike zone, 1-1. Melanie Okazaki lined out to shortstop, and then Sydney McCullum got on with a single to right. Jenny Vasquez then bounced into a 6-4-3 double play to end the top of the first. Right over to second, and picking it up is Klinkenbrummer for the out. Zavala bounces out. That's the first one. And Nicole Wise, starting left fielder, will be up next.
Brad Pickler and I, when we had our conversation on an interview, Ryan, it's something you and I talked about. All of a sudden, the players you expected to start playing well, like Nicole Wise, started hitting the softball. These are the ones that already have risen to the top, and that's why this team has been undefeated so far. They need to do that today against College of the Canyon.
This one dips in there for a strike to Nicole Wise, 0-1.
But when you're undefeated and you have such an impressive background, everybody's out there. You got the target on your back. So for College of the Canyons to knock off Cypress here would be huge.
The 0-1 bounces in. Making the stop behind the plate is Lauren Jimenez.
Ryan, I'm going to bring it up to you again. We did it at Santiago. Look at the outfield for College of the Canyon when Nicole Wise steps in there. Everybody's stepping 2 feet forward. I mean, it's 207 down the line. She gets one over your head or in the alley. The girl can scoot.
She also has a 440 batting average as this one's going into right center field. Just as you said, Mark, doesn't go quite as far, but Ludi is able to cut it off. A single once again for Cypress College to right field for Nicole Wise. Emma Walker coming up next. And we saw it against Santiago Canyon, like you were saying. The infielders coming up, even on a player that is batting 440, 447, or 450 like we saw in that Long Beach series against Santiago Canyon. They scooted up, and in Santiago Canyon, it ended up biting them as Long Beach was able to put up 4.
Yeah, you wonder if it's just because of the outfield arms. That's why people step in 2 or 3 feet. We have not seen College of the Canyon play. We don't know what the outfield arms look like. Maybe that's why they're cheating in defensively.
But then on the other side, if you have good outfield arms, wouldn't you bring the outfield back because you know that everything played in front of them, they can have a running start and use their arms?
Yeah, I would.
That one bounces in, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out with the runner on first, Nicole Wise. 1-0, College of the Canyons on top of Cypress in the bottom of the 2nd. Alexis Ramirez in the circle, delivers, and home plate umpire says it goes too much inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, when you're pitching well in the circle, when you start thinking, wow, you know what, I'm getting squeezed already, it's sort of the expression on her face.
Ramirez, the 2-1. There's a strike on the hands. 2 balls and 2 strikes, runner on first. Destiny Vasquez would be up next. Ramirez in the circle, Lauren Jimenez trying to frame the balls and strikes behind the plate. Here's Ramirez to home, in on the ankles, 3-2. So full count to Emma Walker. And Walker on the season batting .414, has 25 RBIs. Mark, you look at this lineup overall for Cypress, only 3 players that play regularly are under 20 RBIs. Next delivery into not right field as Klinkenbrummer is able to make the play. Ranging to her left, she throws it over to first to get the back runner. Emma Walker doesn't reach first, so that is the 2nd out. And getting up to 2nd is Nicole Wise.
And what you like about her play at second base there, Ryan, she never looks at second. She knows she doesn't have the lead runner. She maintains body position on a ball that won't get through because she can knock it down, to say the least, and get a runner over at first base. So defensively, very sound play by College of the Canyon. Yeah, tying run at second, better than booting it and having a runner at third and a runner at first with only 1 out. Now you've got a runner at second with 2 outs. You need a clean single to have this game get tied up.
Destiny Vasquez to the plate. In the circle, that 1.36 RB or ERA, and batting .350 on the offensive side. On base percentage of .472. Has drawn 11 walks, however, is 2nd on the team in strikeouts with 12. Vasquez, the right-handed batter, shading in as that one ends up hitting her on the foot. And Vasquez will be awarded first base on the HBP. Val Romano up next as Vasquez collects herself. Romano starting catcher for Cypress College.
You know, really it looks like you're getting a screwball that's breaking in on right-handed hitters. So it's breaking in and down when she throws it. And it's got a late break on it. So when you get a late break on it, you're not going to get your feet out of the way too quickly.
Well, you don't want to get hit anywhere in particular, but that's a bad spot for a pitcher because your feet are so important, pushing off, getting that velocity.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, Ed, besides that, if it changes your stride whatsoever, then it changes your accuracy. When your release is at a certain point when you're striding, if you shorten your stride up, then all of a sudden the ball's going to come out a little higher and take off the velocity and or the accuracy in a circle.
And when you talk about the ball going higher, one of the reasons, if you're not confident in where you're planting your foot, you're going to rise as you're delivering, which causes that to stay high in the strike zone.
And you get less rotation on the ball.
Balls won't break as much. Breaking balls will stay high, and they won't be able to have as much movement. And it's also easier for you to pick it up as a batter in the box. This one bounces in there, and it gets away behind the plate from Lauren Jimenez. Both runners will advance. So Vasquez up to 2nd, And Nicole Wise is now down at third. 2 runners in scoring position on just 2 pitches for Cypress College. They have 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They're down 1-0 to College of the Canyons. Asmarheen Anderson had the leadoff home run in the top of the 2nd, as Ramirez will deliver home. Outside corner strike, 1-0. Make it 1-1.
So you move back right now if you're the infielders of College of the Canyon. You want to play at normal depth. You don't necessarily need to come in at first or third because you're going to get that lead runner with 2 outs. That's that runner at first base, which I call the lead runner, not the runner at third right now.
Bounces on home plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Romano holds up on it. Kiani Puailoa is up next for Cypress.
Brad Pickler trying to get his batter to focus on where the strike zone is.
Alexis Ramirez into the wind, delivers. That one is smoked down the left field line, just goes foul, and Coach Pickler has to get out of the way, 2-2. Speaking of Coach Pickler, he is also the third base coach for Cypress College, and where he sets up, watching home plate, he's down the line way behind third. If he was on the line, he'd be a quarter or a third the way down the outfield grass.
Do you notice they don't line coaches' boxes?
Alexis Ramirez. Next pitch, down the line, just foul.
And people may laugh about that, but if they line coaches' boxes, then the umpire can actually say to the coach, you need to stay in the box, coming out of the box. If I've got nothing down there and the coaches are not interfering with the play or deceiving defensive players, there's going to be no comment to them by the umpires.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd. That goes outside. Full count to Val Romano. Runners on 2nd and 3rd in Destiny Vasquez, starting pitcher for Cypress, and Nicole Wise, the left fielder. Danielle Chapman down at short is shading towards 2nd. At 3rd, Alexis Avila is down the line at 3rd, and it just goes past her glove, foul. Mark, just before that pitch was swung on, Avila takes 1 step to her left, and the ball goes 1 step to her right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think it's real interesting when Brad Pickler said to Romano, hey, this is where the ball should be swung at, belt high. She has held off a 2, and the 2 that were belt high, not far from scoring 2 runs for Cypress.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Next delivery, bounced right in front of the plate. Here is Danielle Chapman to first. And Cypress College cannot capitalize on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, as Val Romano ends up grounding out to short, and that will end the inning with no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. The score stays 1-0. Cypress is down to College of the Canyons at the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
You know, guys, it's real interesting. I was looking for, maybe you two found it, I was looking for who holds the record for most community college victories. We know Brad Pickler's over 1,300. The all-time D1 leader, of course, is Carol Hutchins over at Michigan right now. She's number 1 with 1,458 total victories. Mike Andrea, we all know who Mike is. He's got the most College World Series, sitting there with 8. Margot Jonker of Central Michigan, she holds a record I don't think anybody would want. The most losses. She's got 712. So if you put Brad Pickler in there, guys, Brad Pickler goes with the D1 people. This is for coaching in over 900 games, which you'd have to win 1,300. I still can't find it. Ed, I don't know if you've ever found that record for victories by community college coach. Brad's got to be at the top because I couldn't find anything.
All I know is that the former coach of Ohlone, we spoke with the current coach, Coach Marshall in our interview show. She replaced Donna Runyon, who is a California Community College coaches. She's in the Hall of Fame there. She had just over 900 victories. I mean, Brad's got 13. The only person I could think of in a 2-year school that may have more, there's 2 guys who coached in Arizona. I can't recall their names right off the top of my head. The one is the current head coach of Phoenix College, and I believe they qualified for the NJC 2A playoffs. He may have over 1,000 victories. I think he does. And then there's another coach that was a little bit before his tenure, not at that college. Those are the 2 guys that, could have over 1,000 victories. But, yeah, Brad could be the leader. Between innings, I'll look that up and see what I can find, but Brad could be the leader.
Corey Nayland would throw a fictitious name at us like it's the right one. You know that right now, don't you?
0-1 to Sienna Vanoy. Top of the lineup for College of the Canyons, Vanoy, Abzoon, and Chapman. All up to the plate, up and high, 1-1.
Nice park here, 207 down the left field line, 200 right down the right field line, 220 to dead center.
That one spins too much inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sienna Vanoy. Starting up the top of the 3rd inning, 1-0. College of the Canyons leads over Cypress College. Cypress College, once again, undefeated coming into this SoCal Super Regional. Vasquez delivers, and it's fouled straight back, 2-2.
And when you think of that home run that Anderson hit to give College of the Canyons the 1-run lead, she took it up the gap, Ryan, so she probably hit that about 215, and it cleared with plenty of room, so it probably flew about 225.
Next pitch, that one goes way high. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the full count to Sienna Vanoy. Wind blowing from right field straight away towards the left. All the flags staying stiff as this one is popped into foul territory. Getting to it and in time to make the catch is Alexis Zavala. She was able to make the catch just before crossing the red out of play line down the 3rd base side.
And I was just going to ask you that, Ryan, because I don't know about you, but I thought there is a line that runs on the other side of the dugout that we can't see. And I didn't know if she was actually in play or not. But again, give it to a 3rd base person that refuses to give up on a defensive play.
Melanie Abzoon is up next. Had a single and a stolen base in the top of the 1st. And she swings at the first one and fouls it back, 0-1.
Can't get an exact total on it, but the coach I was talking about at Phoenix College, Heinz Mueller, he had over 1,000 wins after the 2012 season. They play a lot of games. His team usually wins over 40 games a year. So between him and Brad, it's real close. We'll try to find a total, but, you always get a release from, that has Roman numerals on it, which, nobody cares about anymore. Julius Caesar has, has reached his 500th win total.
This one's popped foul off to the left and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes as Abzoon tries to stay alive.
You may have to explain to the man on my left who that was because, where he goes to school at, history didn't start till 19.
He invented the first bottled salad dressing.
Okay.
And then Paul Newman copied, and, it got ugly, all sorts of litigation. So
Vasquez delivers up and high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cesar salad?
There we go. Higher education.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Next delivery, popped up. And Vasquez will allow Zavala to take it. So the pop out, 2 straight times to Zavala. And there's 2 outs as Danielle Chapman is up next.
Now batting number 11,
Chapman lined out
Chapman.
to the shortstop McCullum in her first time up after working a 2-2 count. She'll dig into the batter's box for the second time and take up and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Over the right field fence, Santiago Canyon and Palomar getting set for their game this afternoon here on SportsNetUSA.net at the SoCal Super Regionals, as this one is just a little dunker into left field. And making the catch is Nicole Wise for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Score stays 1-0. The Cougars lead the Chargers. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, Ryan, we're going to be looking forward to our second game today on SportsNetUSA.net. We watched Santiago Canyon. We've seen these two teams. We know how they play. We know that College of the Canyon has balanced power across the board. We know Cerritos can there, but Santiago Canyon is that team that can either nibble you to death with single, or they've got a third base person who we saw a couple weeks ago. I mean, you know, Paige Stevens has talked about, right? It's Paige Stevens, right?
Dolly Stevens.
Dolly Stevens, how far she can hit the ball. But White Gertza, I don't know. She put some charges down into the ball down at Santiago Canyon. Should be a real interesting game, this second game today in the Super Regional.
And the game that we saw her play against Santa Barbara, that one actually cleared the outfield fence that they have over at Santiago Canyon. It cleared the fence that is beyond the home run wall. They have it up there so that way it doesn't hurt any of the cars just beyond the left field fence. And Veit Gertze can put, like you said, she can put a charge into that softball. But you look at hitters from Antelope Valley College, Dolly Stevens, the 2 home runs, 8 RBIs in their first game of their regional playoff. And then also Paige Johnson with her 94 RBIs and 21 home runs. There's a strike on the outside half to Kiani Puailoa. No balls and 1 strike.
You can see why everybody says she was Player of the Year. I mean, you know, can't argue those numbers.
The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Puailoa followed by Okazaki and McCullum. Down the left field line, it is Anderson who's hugging the line down left field, and that gets foul tipped back on the bunt attempt, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes, no outs, bottom of the third. It is College of the Canyons, the number 9 seed, who has the lead over the number 1 seed in the state of California, Cypress College, by a score of 1-0. As Marheen Anderson with the home run in the top of the second to take the lead, and it's now 2-2 to Puailoa.
You look at her, 457, on-base percentage of .554 so far this season. Slight built first base person.
This one is bounced right in the air over to first. And Van Noy tries to make the tag, but it was in foul territory. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for Cypress with Puailoa, it just may be another case like we saw with Val Romano. Wasn't supposed to be the starting catcher, but they have all the other slots filled. So Romano steps behind the plate. Puailoa, being the utility player, steps over to first. This one's right over towards Alexis Ramirez in the circle, and she'll make the catch, throw over to first. That will be the first out. 1-3 on the putout, and Melanie Okazaki is coming up next. Okazaki, center fielder for Cypress College, lined out to short in her first time up. And for Okazaki, 474, 578 on base percentage. Mark, that's something you like to see from your leadoff hitter.
Yeah,
Okazaki.
because she works everything, Ryan. She can get on with a walk. She can drop a bunch. She's a slap hitter. She can turn on the ball. And, I mean, when you look at, even though right now you look at College of the Canyons, looking at her as a slap hitter, they all walk in. But if she's somebody that, again, and we got to keep bringing this up, if outfielders come in too tight and you hit it up into the gap, you're going to be running for a while.
Okazaki watches that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. And for Okazaki, she has a home run and 41 RBIs in addition to 32 walks.
Guys, maybe they're playing in shallow because of the wind. Maybe they feel that the ball's going to get knocked down if it goes to right or all the way up to left center.
As Okazaki turns on this one, Van Noy is able to make the catch off the grounder and step on the first base bag. So the ground out unassisted to first will be the second out, and Sydney McCullum up next.
So, okay, let me put you on the spot. Corey Nayland says Player of the Year. Brad Pickler says Player of the Year. Northern California differs with you. Player of the Year standing in front of you?
I think you go Sydney McCullum, Player of the Year. One, because better minds than I have thought about this and have said it. But when you look at Sydney McCullum, she has overall on the season been that cleanup hitter or second person in the lineup for Cypress, as that one goes for a ball 1-0. She also plays in the Orange Empire Conference, as this one is delivered and hit right up the middle for a single. That's her second this afternoon. She has been one of the key players the entire year for Cypress College, a team that went undefeated, only 7 errors defensively, 949 defensive percentage, 1 home run, 45 RBIs, 10 walks, and 24 stolen bases. No matter what area she is in on the softball field, she's making an impact. Now, as opposed to Paige Johnson, great year, absolutely astounding year on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side ended up in double-digit errors as McCullum goes down to second and steals second.
Well, somebody's making you look smart, aren't they?
She's 2 for 2 with a stolen base, and she's standing on second in scoring position as Jenny Vasquez takes 0-1. Alexis Ramirez, the 0-1 with 2 outs. This one's dunked into right, but Klinkenbrummer drops the ball, is able to throw to first in time and make the play. Jenny Vasquez running up the first base line ends up getting caught watching the ball, and Klinkenbrummer, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 1-0, College of the Canyons stays with the lead over Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Thing that you like about the last play, Ed, how many times have you seen a man or a woman make an error on a play, the head gets dropped, they don't follow it up, and the person's at first base? She drops the ball, keeps her head into the play, and makes the play at first base. Runner running, if she doesn't make the play, we're tied at 1.
Well, I think that goes back to what all the coaches have said. Even in the Northern California regionals, super regionals, I should say, that we have 8 teams in the South and 8 teams in the North that are really well matched. I mean, these are not that any of the other fields from the past were bad, but I think we really have 4 great super regionals going on. Teams that can really play. All these teams can hit. Yeah, Cypress's pitching is better, but everybody's got a good offense. The rest of the teams, at least in Southern California, have decent pitching. Northern California, you got some good pitching up there. So I don't think that your team, San Mateo, is going to come out of it. I'm still saying they aren't, but they just might. My team is Ohlone. I think they're going to come out of their super regional. They have to play San Joaquin Delta, and that's tough in some of those other teams.
This one's popped over into left field, and Nicole Wise is able to make the catch as Heidi Ludy takes the first pitch and pops out.
Well, with pitching, one of the things with pitching, I mean, I know you look at the season, and that's what we graded on, but any given day, a pitcher who's got an ERA of 4 can get hot. We see it on any level of softball or baseball, and you wonder where that game came from. So, I mean, you know, sometimes it's overblown, sometimes it's understated.
As Marheen Anderson takes for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Anderson. 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Going right along is this game between Cypress and College of the Canyons. That one is in there as well, 0-2. Interesting in this at-bat, Mark, as Marheen Anderson hits a home run on an inside pitch out to left center in her first at-bat. In this one, Cypress stays inside. Swing and a miss as Marheen Anderson, and she goes down.
Yeah, what did they do? They climbed the ladder. They came in tight. She swings and gets jammed on it. Then they go up the ladder 2 more notches. And if you're only 5'9", you can try to get on your toes, but you're not going to get caught up with a rise pitch that's around your eyeballs. That's exactly what Vasquez does.
Michaela Aguilar fouls this one to the screen. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning, 1 run on 3 hits for the visiting Canyons College Cougars, and no runs on 3 hits for Cypress. This one's into right field. It's going to drop just in front of Emma Walker, and she'll throw it back into the infield as Aguilar gets a single, and she is on first with Alexis Ramirez, the pitcher, up next. Now 4 hits for Canyons. Ramirez, in her first time up, she popped out into foul territory to first. There's going to be a runner for Aguilar. Coming in for Aguilar, it will be Gabriela Padilla. Padilla, the utility sophomore for College of the Canyons. And Ramirez will step up to the plate.
And, of course, to me, if you bring in that designated runner, you're telling me they're a little swift around the bases. I've often wondered why coaches don't give them an opportunity. You got 2 outs right now, Ryan. Send this runner, maybe not on the first pitch, maybe on the second pitch, and try and get her in scoring position.
Destiny Vasquez to home. That one is in on the hands. 1 ball and no strikes to Alexis Ramirez. And for Ramirez, on the season, that .378 batting average, .477 on base percentage as she swings through it. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is like leaving the Porsche in the garage if you're not going to send the runner. You got to send your runner, try to get to second base. You want to get 2 runs up against this very good Cypress team. And in softball, 2 runs are huge. I mean, people look at it, don't compare it to the other game with a bat and a ball. This game is huge if you can get a couple runs up. We've seen it with some of these other teams in this super regional. They get it by 2 or 3, game's over. And right now, if you're the number 9th seed, you got nothing to lose with sending a runner.
Alexis Ramirez will dig back in. 1 ball and 2 strikes as she fouled the last one off. Destiny Vasquez to home, just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I'm going to mention what a coach said to me. They're going to stay unnamed. They've said, I haven't seen catchers that have the big arms, that are the big guns. I think in the super regional, you really need to say to the catcher, beat me, throw my runner out.
Strike 3 call to Alexis Ramirez. She watches that one all the way into the mitt, and she will go down looking. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th with a 1-0 lead for Canyons over Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Of course, you know me, I always like playing around with stats and everything else. Actually, in D1, the coach that's got the most wins is Phil McSpadden, who is at Oklahoma City. That's actually an NAIA school. But they're giving him credits for having most wins. He's still currently coaching. He's got 1,562. In Division One, it's Carol Hutchins with 15-25. Then Mike Andrea, we know Mike's still over at Arizona with 15-16. Margie Wright, who's now was at Fresno State, 14-57. Ralph Weekly, oh yeah, everybody knows who the Weekleys are at Tennessee. Nice man, started at Pacific Lutheran, went to Chattanooga, currently still there at Tennessee. Are some of the leading one. Jan Hutchinson with 1,200. So the only ones, these are the only ones that are in front of. There's only 9. Actually, guys, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches on the D1 level that have more victories than Brad Pickler does here at Cypress College. That's pretty impressive, country. I don't care if it's community college or D1. Brad, you're in the top 5 in the nation for most career wins.
There's a strike to start off the bottom of the 4th inning to Alexis Zavala. 0-1 Zavala, followed by Wise and Walker. Exact same 3 came up in the bottom of the 2nd. That's when Cypress threatened the most, 0-2. Cypress had Zavala go down on a grounder to 2nd, and then Nicole Wise got a single, was stranded on 3rd. Emma Walker grounded out, and Destiny Vasquez ended up being stranded on 2nd. Turning on this one is Zavala, and she'll foul it away. Val Romano ended up grounding out to short to end the inning, but Cypress had a chance, Mark, to capitalize on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. They're not able to do it, something that they were able to do earlier on in the season.
Well, and really what you're seeing right now is excellent defense from College of the Canyons. Beautiful pitching. I mean, you got somebody who is working the corners, working high-low, in and out, Ryan. That's the thing where you look at right now, and that's how you pitch from the circle.
Now batting number 2.
So, I mean, this is the thing we haven't seen anybody do to this Cypress team all year long, is really work the strike zone.
Strike 3 called to Zavala, and Nicole Wise will be coming up next. That's only the 2nd strikeout this afternoon for either pitcher. Make it 3rd strikeout combined for either pitcher. And Nicole Wise will take down low, 1-0. Bottom of the 4th inning. 1 out, 1 run on 4 hits for Canyons. No runs on 3 hits for Cypress. Trying to get on the board here and taking a high ball. 2-0 is Nicole Wise. Cypress College, state champions in 91, 97, 98, 99, 2006, and the three-peat in 2010, 2011, and 2012. That's a strike to Nicole Wise. 2 balls and 1 strike. They're trying to get back to that state championship opportunity once again. Next delivery, and this one is into center field. It's going to land just in front of the center fielder for Canyons College in Melanie Abzoon. And on that hit, Mark, you saw Abzoon in center field get fooled by the trajectory of the hit.
Yeah, she really thought it was going to carry further, and she stopped, and the ball hits just short of her glove. The thing with Ramirez, and you talked about the strikeouts, Ryan, one of the things, she has got a flip on the strikeout to walk ratio. The walk ratio is higher for her. She gives up more walks than strikeouts in a game from the circle. She hasn't really done that today against this Cypress team.
There's a strike. As that one dips in there. 0-1. Emma Walker at the plate.
We're going to see the same thing in the Santiago game, a pitcher that has struggled with a walk-to-strikeout ratio. But for Santiago, they have cured that. If this is cured in this game for College of the Canyon, Cypress really is going to have to battle if they want to come away with a victory.
1 ball and 1 strike. And you mentioned it all year, Mark. Cypress is that team that they'll put up 1 in an inning. Next inning, it's 2. Next inning, back to 1. And then all of a sudden, you look at the 5th inning, and they have 8 on the scoreboard. As this one gets away from Jimenez behind the plate. She's going to try for second. It won't be in time. So the pass ball is given to Jimenez behind the plate, as up to second is Nicole Wise.
Let's see what Brad Pickler does. You know, we talked to Brad early today about the game of softball, and he really is a strategist when coaching softball.
Ramirez to home, the 2-1. Outside and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Emma Walker. Destiny Vasquez would be up next if the inning stays alive. Cypress trying to get on the board in the first game of the Super Regional. There's an inside corner pitch, doesn't catch the strike zone, and it will be a walk awarded to Emma Walker. She'll go up to first. Destiny Vasquez up next, starting pitcher for Cypress.
You know, all those guys from Savannah High School right now are probably saying, Brad, this is what you need to do. All the guys he grew up with and still remember, the ones that are listening right now, they're probably saying, now, if I was Brad, this is what I would do. Guys, I hate to tell you, Brad's got 1,300 victories. I don't know where you went from Savannah High School, but I know where he went. And Brad Pickler. So we'll see if Brad starts the runners. Ryan, you're going to look at College Canyon's going to creep everybody in at the corners right now with 1 out.
Vasquez at the plate. 1-0 Canyons leads. There's a drop pitch inner half for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Destiny Vasquez. Val Romano in the on-deck circle, starting catcher for Cypress. Runners on first and second. Here is the 0-1 from Ramirez, and it's sent into center field. Having to go back on it is Absoon. She makes the catch while jumping in the air to snag it. Once again, Absoon can't pick it up off the bat, but this time is able to recover.
Well, Vasquez really got that one up towards the hands, so she didn't get a lot on it. If that would have been on the barrel of the bat, there would have been a different outcome on that hit. And maybe that's what was the factor that fooled the center fielder.
Well, again, you've got to wonder if of what Ed talked about earlier, the wind, Ryan, because, I mean, back-to-back times in center field, you look like you're out of place, out of step, and out of mind playing center field for College of the Canyons.
1 ball and no strikes to Val Romano, who had to twist away from that inside pitch. In center field, Absoon now towards left center, and Anderson is hugging the line in left, just outside. 2 balls and no strikes, and behind the plate, Lauren Jimenez trying to frame it.
Well, we haven't seen Absoon play before, and maybe that's just kind of her style, you know, kind of not I don't want to use the word circus, but you get those kind of plays, but she gets the job done. So in the end, it doesn't make a difference.
Inside corner strike to Val Romano. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kiani Puailoa is up next.
Well, we saw that with Megan Martinez's team from Long Beach City College. We watched the outfield out there, and you and I just sort of stared at each other on a couple plays.
Alex Ramirez trying to get out of the inning without allowing Cypress to score. And Romano turns on this one, sent foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Runners on first and second in Nicole Wise and Emma Walker. As time is called by College of the Canyons. Runners on first and second. One of your better hitters at the plate in Val Romano.
Yeah, but Val had this opportunity last time she was up to drive in a run that would have tied this game. So, I mean, the big thing, I think the reason College of the Canyons took a timeout at, you know, Ryan Osborn just turned 20 years old today. He's over here young, and I think we got him up too early to get out and help us with the equipment and everything. So, you know, we may have to let him take a nap during the second game.
Well, you know what they say about the intake of fat? When you eat a couple of those chocolate bacon and maple bacon donuts, boy, you get kind of sleepy afterwards.
Happy birthday to our partner, Ryan Osborn, who turned 20.
Thank you. Thank you.
In sports years, you're 147, though. That's a compliment.
Alexis Ramirez to home, and that one hits Val Romano. Bases will be loaded.
No. Didn't hit her, Ryan. It just went in the dirt. Did not hit her. It hit before the plate. So it was a dead ball. Then it hit her after it hit the dirt. So the ball's a dead ball when it hits the dirt. If it hits the batter after that, you're not being hit by the pitch.
John
Runners
Wismath.
did get to advance, though, because of that.
John Wismath down the third base line, calling the pitches as this one's sent towards deep left center field. It's going to hit the top of the wall and green into center. Val Romano will be around second. She's going to get all the way down to third. The tag cannot be applied as Val Romano ends up hitting an RBI bases clearing triple to take the lead 2-1. Cypress College now has their first lead of the Super Regional.
Well, Val Romano said, hey, guys, you know what? Maybe last time I didn't drive any. And again, let's go back and where the ball is hit. You have a center fielder, Ed. I'm going to bring it back to you. You had a center fielder once again that hesitated on a ball that was hit, then went to the fence, didn't look for the carom, which allows that second runner to score.
I can't add anything to that because that's everything that happened.
That goes outside and away to Kiani Puailoa. 1 ball and no strikes.
And one of the big factors there was not playing the carom correctly. I mean, the ball just took off in the opposite direction of the way she was heading.
Alexis Ramirez to home, up and high. 2 balls and no strikes. And if you look at the outfield wall or outfield fence here at Cypress College, there are those support beams that hold up the fence. It hits one of those in left center field, and that's what allowed it to go into center. If it just hits the fence, it dies right there. And Puailoa takes low for a strike. 2-1.
But the crowd gets all fired up. Now we've got a little bullpen action going on there for College of the Canyon.
As Sarah Wilson, one of the 3 pitchers that College of the Canyon uses over the course of the season. And this one is sent into left center field. It's dunking down, and Absoon is able to make the catch. So Absoon takes a look at Mark and Ed and says, oh, you want a defensive play? Here it is. And the score now is 2-1, Cypress College over Canyons.
I guess he's trying to say we were being critical and he's the defender of the faith or something here.
I guess so. You know, she made an excellent defensive play. She went into the alley. It came up short. She backhands it. She goes down on the grass, Ryan, to make the catch. And as good as that play is, it was even more important that play was, because if that ball goes down, all of a sudden, Destiny Vasquez going into the top of the 5th would have a 2-run lead instead of a 1-run lead. And when you're 21-0, don't give me a lead. We'll see what happens because you've already talked about it. Ryan Osborn and I saw probably one of the best relief pitchers, and she could be a starter for anybody, but she relieves here for Cypress. You see somebody who throws a screwball that breaks the way it does for her. This game gets a little tight. Brad Pickler's going to walk out and get his starter and go to his freshman and say, win this first game for us. This game is just proving once again how we talked about, Ed, how these first games are so important in this super regional. You lose today, you're looking at half your day being over tomorrow as you go loser versus loser, winner versus winner, and then loser versus loser to get to that championship game on Sunday.
Now batting for College of the Canyon, number 12, Alexis Avila.
So Avila, followed by Clinton Broomer and Sienna Vanoy. Bottom 2, and then back to the top of the lineup for College of the Canyons, who all of a sudden find themselves at a deficit, 2-1. Down the line at third for Cypress is Zavala, and she's tight to the line. as that one is swung through 0-1 by Avila. Vasquez in the circle, Val Romano behind the plate. Kiani Puailoa is at first. Jenny Vasquez is at second, with Alexis Zavala at third. Sydney McCullum is at short, as this one's fouled back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes to Avila. Nicole Wise in left field. Okazaki is in center, and Emma Walker is in right.
Batting .352, slugging percentage of .441. So you've got somebody, and all of a sudden Destiny Vasquez has found new life. It's almost like she took one of Ryan's donuts and had it over there because she's just picked up a little sugar high in the circle right about now.
And Mark Brad Pickler heard you talking as Haley Hoffman trots out to the bullpen for Cypress College. That one's too much inside, 1-0 to Katie Klinkenbrunner.
And Brad has told us that none of his 3 pitchers like being pulled out of the game.
No.
They get a little upset.
Into left field, just gets past McCullum. And Klinkenbrunner has herself a single. Klinkenbrunner with multiple defensive plays so far this afternoon. Adds something on the offensive side with a single, and Sienna Vanoy up next.
And again, you wonder if you start the runner, you challenge the person behind the plate. Throw out my runner if you can. May put somebody in motion here.
Popped up into left field. Going back on it is McCullum, but Nicole Wise calls her off in left field and catches the fly out. That's 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning, and Melanie Abzoon up next.
Melanie Abzoon.
And if you watch the runner of her first base, Ryan, they were off and running. They were playing a little run and hit, trying to get somebody in scoring position.
Destiny Vasquez to home. There's a strike to Melanie Abzoon. 0-1. Runner on first is Katie Klinkenbrunner. Wind blowing steady from right field to left. Next delivery stays inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Destiny Vasquez wanted to know why she didn't get the call. Brad Pickler wanted to know why she didn't get the ball on that. Mono says it was a little inside. Helps out the ump there.
This one's deep towards left field. It's going to get back and hit the wall and just go foul.
Boy, howdy. If that stays fair, Cypress is down by 1. That had enough distance. If it stays and goes straight, because, Ryan, it's curving. Foul. That took up distance, curving foul. It's like a Corey Nealon slice or a Mark Pavlovich hook on that one. Oh, I'm sorry, Corey Nealon, I gave him actually airtime, didn't I, with his shot?
Yeah, it would have been on the infield.
This one is sent into center field. Klinkenbrunner is going to round second. She's going to get up towards third. Over to second, getting there in time. With a single, advancing to second on the throw is Melanie Abzoon.
And Ryan, you could see why they had sent her on that previous pitch when there was a fly ball to left field, and I said they were playing the run and hit. You get the ball down on her. If she's moving on the plate, she scores from first base. And now College of the Canyon in the position to take the lead again in this game here in the top of the 5th. Brad Pickler going to the circle, and he's got a glove in his hand. Usually when Brad brings a glove with him, we see a new pitcher. First time I saw Brad do that, I thought, wait a minute, Brad, you're the wrong gender and you're much too old to be going to the circle. And I'm sure all his friends at Savannah High School says, wait a minute, he's younger than you, Mark. Brad graduated from Savannah High School. Do you remember what he told us?
I know 1973.
73. He graduated from Savannah High School.
Well, remember, he also told us that he just always has that glove with him.
Yeah.
It's just a habit that he's developed over the years. So it doesn't look like he's going to, yeah, you're right. No, he's not going to make a change.
Coach Pickler's been here since 1987. Just a few years here on the community college level.
And immediately took his team to a Final 8 appearance in 1989, only 2 years in on the job. From 89 to 2017, numerous Final Fours, Final 8 appearances, in addition to those 7 state championships, as it's ball 1.
Wait a minute. Ed, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This one's going to dunk into left field. Making the catch is Nicole Wise on the 8-time champion Cypress Chargers. That will end the inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. The score is 2-1, Cypress College on top of College of the Canyons. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Wow, did you dodge an error? I tell you what, I was going to tack you on the wall just for a second there. Eight state banners out there. Ryan lost count on his fingers. All of a sudden realized it wasn't 7, it was 8. 4 on one side. 4 plus 4 does equal 8 at all state universities.
You see, Mark, like a basketball screen.
He said 7 earlier.
I had a catcher and a pitcher in front of the 1991 banner.
Okay.
I didn't have clear visibility. It's like in hockey. When you send traffic to in front of the net, the goalie can't see the puck.
Now, if there were 8 rocks out there,
He'd have known.
he would have known because it's easy to count rocks. You know, he gets that from, he learned that from me, being a high desert rock farmer that I am.
As the new pitcher will be coming in for College of the Canyons, Sarah Wilson will be the pitcher for the Cougars. And for Wilson, she has a 3.92 ERA, 85 innings of work, and averages around 3 strikeouts per 7 innings.
Completely different approach on this. And this is one of the things you've got to realize as a hitter. You get used to seeing somebody. In baseball, they talk about, Ryan, you see him the second or third time. In softball, you may get more at-bats. You see him the first time, you're used. Now you've got somebody that's got a different little windup in the circle, brings the ball from the middle of the body, not from the down to the right-hand side. And so by changing somebody in the circle, you're hoping here in the bottom of the 5th that you can hold Cypress at bay.
2-1, Cypress now with the lead over College of the Canyons. As Marheen Anderson led off the top of the 2nd inning with a home run for the College of the Canyons Cougars, and it stayed that way until the bottom of the 4th when College of the Canyons ended up finding themselves in a deficit, 2-1, as Cypress and Val Romano was able to put up 2 on the RBI bases clearing triple. Ball 1 to Melanie Okazaki, who's up for the 3rd time this afternoon. She is 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. Sarah Wilson to home, and it's outside. 2-0.
And Okazaki, one of these players, there's so many players on the Cypress team you don't talk about, that you realize how well they play, and they are an integral part to being 40 plus with no losses at this stage of the season.
That's out once again. 3 balls and no strikes. Wilson in the circle on the year has 21 bases on balls, and she delivers a strike. 3-1.
And for anybody out there, if you can find the answer, we've looked for consecutive victories over a season. Ed, I know you checked it out. You checked it out multiple times to see where it sits. Is it 50? Is it 60? Hey, if you found the answer, send it to us.
That one's up and out. A walk is issued to Melanie Okazaki, and the leadoff batter is on base. She leads the team with 32 walks, and she gets another there.
Is that the first walk of the game or the second walk, Ryan?
That is the second walk because there was a hit by pitch earlier.
Yeah, and Zavala walked in the 4th.
That one goes low. Okazaki taking a nice little lead towards second. And she'll stay back 0-1, or make it 1-0.
So do you send her?
I do. Yeah, I send her. I want that 2-run lead.
Wilson to home. This one is called a dead ball by the home plate umpire. And Okazaki will return. Goes just off the end of the bat for a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. It had gotten away from Jimenez off the deflection. And Melanie Okazaki with 30 stolen bases leading the team for Cypress. This one is sent into left field as Marheen Anderson just takes 2 steps to her left and makes the catch.
The way that sounded and the way it flew were 2 different things there.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, that sounded pretty coming off the bat.
Up next is Jenny Vasquez, starting second baseman for Cypress. Alexis Ramirez no longer in the circle. It is now Sarah Wilson, as this one is thrown down towards second. Just making the catch is Danielle Chapman. And Mark, that's one of those plays where all too often you see the mental error by the shortstop in trying to stay on the base lets the ball go into center field. Not so this time.
Yeah, not so. And again, I'm going to go back to what one of the coaches told me. You know, I haven't seen that catcher that impresses me. And this is for all the teams, not just one, all the teams. And I think coaches really need to say to catchers, beat me.
This one's popped up towards third, just barely making the catch is Alexis Avila. Hanging on there to catch the pop-up, and that's 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
I'm going to say it now. It's 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands on any fly ball. I'm old school. These people that go out and flip up the glove with the one hand, I tell you what, it drives me nuts. And I will see it happen more than often. Somebody drops the ball on any level, and I want to just look at people and go, excuse me, who taught you how to catch a pop fly? It's 2 hands. What's wrong with you people?
I'm having a flashback here. Is this Mark Pavlovich sitting next to me?
It is
or is
indeed.
it the former Montreal Expo and LA Dodger Ron Fairley and California Angel? That was what he used to always say. 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands.
Tell you, just drives me nuts. Do I look like Ron Fairley?
No, you don't have. You left your henna at home.
Okay.
Oh.
Up next will be Alexis Zavala, and she takes the first one for a strike.
You do know what he's referring to. I keep saying you're 147 years old, sports-wise. Okay.
Got to go back for baseball. Sarah Wilson stares in, no balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Sent towards right field. It's going to keep going back, and it's going to get to the wall. Getting back to it is Heidi Ludi. Over to third easily is Alexis Zavala. So moments ago, guys, you talk about a ball that sounds pretty and doesn't fly as well. This one doesn't sound good, but it keeps going strong.
But you saw the smooth swing of her. Every once in a while in any game, be it golf, hockey, or anything else, you know, Ryan, you've played games with sticks. People try to hit something so hard, they don't realize it's all about timing. It's all about shifting your weight at the right time, like you said. Then you just shift at the right time, you get this sort of sound. And when you get that sound, usually it's out of the ballpark. That went into the wind all the way to the wall.
That one goes inside for a strike. And you talk about hockey and timing. It's never the person who has the hardest slap shot who scores the most as a defenseman. They always said about Bobby Orr back in the day, as this one is popped back, foul, but making the catch is Klink Romer. From the second base position, she was able to get to it in time. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The score is now 3-1. Cypress on top of College of the Canyons. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net. But to finish the thought I was having earlier, one of the things that everybody said about Bobby Orr is the fact that his timing with his shot was what made him great with his point shots. He would wait for the traffic and then shoot it. It wasn't something that he was trying to blast the skin off the hockey puck.
Yeah, and we see that by a lot of players that we'll watch them swing and we'll say, boy, they didn't even swing hard. And on that one, especially going into the wind, she got all of it. I think that's just a huge run for Cypress. I mean, we go to the top of the sixth. We're down to 2 innings now for College of the Canyons, and they're down by 2, and you've got a relief pitcher that I'm going to go side with Ed Ford. Even though nobody's ever happy, I tell you, you've got somebody in the bullpen with a wicked screwball. And for anybody that's never tried to hit a screwball that breaks in on a right-handed hitter, it backs into your hand, backs in and drops on you. If it's not something you're facing all the time, and she comes in a different approach, and you'll watch Vasquez. I think she's got one too. I don't think she uses it that often, but Destiny has a little more pop on the ball and everything else. I think Brad could change things up right now, having that 2-run lead. 6 hits by both teams. This has been a well-played softball game, and unfortunately for anybody who loses this first one, it's going to be a tough first loss.
Cypress to the plate, Emma Walker, Destiny Vasquez, and Val Romano. Correct me on that. It's College of the Canyons. And that was Heidi Ludi who ends up sending that one into left field. And it is caught. No, Mark, that you said that I'm 140 in sports years, but I was actually in last inning.
I was going to
say. For softball.
I was going to say, I was lost for a second. I thought Ryan Osborn's trying to change the history here.
So Heidi Ludi ends up getting out. We have 1 out. And this one is sent into left field. And Asmarheen Anderson has her second hit of the afternoon. This one's a single. Last time up, it was a home run. Michaela Aguilar is up next.
Anderson has such a quick set of hands while you watch her up there. When she hit that home run earlier in this game, I mean, she turned on it. On this one, she gets a pitch on the inside, turns on it, drives it down the left field line.
Aguilar at the plate with a runner on first and Anderson. Check swing, but it goes for a strike.
Take a little off of it, slow it down just a hair. Have that somebody looking for it at maybe 41, you throw it at 38.
Popped into right field. Staying right in front of it will be Emma Walker. And she makes the catch. Another fly out for College of the Canyons. That's the second out, and Alexis Ramirez up next. It will be Sarah Wilson who came in the top of the 5th inning for Ramirez. This will be Wilson's first at-bat, and she takes a strike.
Going down low, putting a little heat on it, working on the outside corner. Watch her go in and out. She's going to throw a pitch that breaks in on a hitter now.
There it is, as it's now 0-2.
Then maybe you tantalize somebody with a rise pitch right about here, throw it up around their eyes and see if they want to get on their tippy toes.
This one's fouled off to the right on the rise pitch.
You like that, me calling the pitches back here, don't you? And she's going to come back in with a breaking pitch. It's going to break in the hands on this hitter because she's got the outside corner worker. She showed the rise pitch. Now you bring it back in on somebody's hands. Even if they hit it, you're going to jam them.
Next delivery, up and in. And this ball gets into right field as Asmarheen Anderson will advance on the errant throw by Val Romano.
And this is where we come back to my constant theme about running against catchers. You have a runner dead to right at first base. Catcher needs to get them out.
Anderson over at second. Runner in scoring position. Strike 3 call. Sarah Wilson will go down. And up next will be Cypress College with no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Canyon still trails by 2 to Cypress, 3-1. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Talking about up next, well, yeah, we have another game after this one here on SportsNetUSA.net. And don't forget all our games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Looking for that newer used Toyota? Where else to go but Miller Toyota of Anaheim? Maybe if your son's turning 20, you buy him a new car like Ryan Osborn, probably going to go look for a new Toyota at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim is a proud sponsor of community college sports, high school sports, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim. And don't forget, they'll be bringing our next game as Santiago takes on Palomar and Ryan. As good as this game is, I think the next game is going to be just as or more interesting because there's really nobody that we thought, and give College of the Canyons a lot of credit. Excellent pitching from the Circle of Day. But I don't know. Maybe in the next game, you and I keep thinking it ain't going to happen. We saw it happen against Long Beach City College. We'll see if it happens in the next game. Palomar's got a team that can go out and hit the softball also. Santiago, if they get in a slugfest, we could be here till it gets dark in the afternoon.
And that's exactly what happened with College of the Canyons and Santiago when they played the first 2 times earlier this year. They played a doubleheader at Santiago. First game ended up as a 4-3 victory for Santiago Canyon. The second game had to be called 11-11 on account of darkness.
I think College of the Canyons won that first game.
Yeah, they won the first game, and the second one had to be called 11-11.
How many state championships does Cypress have?
That's 8. If the catcher's not in the way or the umpire, then it's 8.
Okay, all right. Just making sure there's Cypress fans all around us. You know that, don't you?
This one's sent outside to Emma Walker. I'm not even going to try to count the state tournament Final Four in my head. Next one, slow breaking ball just inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
When I read Brad Pickler's bio, I think in his 30 years here, he has won 26 OEC titles.
There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 26 Orange Empire Conference titles. Absolute dominance in Southern California. There's a slow breaking ball that Emma Walker is able to get in front of as Marhane Anderson gets in front of it in left field. But Walker is on first with another single for Cypress. So, Mark, beginning of the game.
Well, now the board says 21, so his bio was wrong. He's won 21 conference titles.
You look at the Cypress offense at the beginning of the game, it's not clicking. Now you see the last 3 innings, and all of a sudden the bats come alive. Slow breaking ball just outside and low to Destiny Vasquez, 1-0.
But you know what? You never see the Cypress team panic. I mean, that says a lot for the coaching staff. Nobody panics. Nobody worries about winning or losing. They just play the game.
In on the ankles, 2 balls and no strikes. Runner at first is Emma Walker, no outs. 3-1. Cypress College is on top of College of the Canyons. 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for Cypress. 1 run on 3 hits for College of the Canyons. High fastball for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Stepping back in there is Destiny Vasquez. And she hits this one deep towards left center field. Just straight away left field, it's gone. The 2:07 marker can't contain the softball as Destiny Vasquez adds to her own lead, gives herself some help, and makes it 5-1. Cypress on top of College of the Canyons.
Ed Ford, I think she was listening to us and said, wait a minute, Brad Pickler may want to take me out? I need to get a couple more runs to make sure I'm here for another complete game.
So Emma Walker comes around to score on the home run. And Val Romano will be coming up next. Sarah Wilson is in the circle for College of the Canyons.
And the interesting thing was, Ryan, is College of the Canyon, who is flashing the signals, came out and talked in the circle to their pitcher and their catcher. And you could tell by the flash of fingers, the pitch that was supposed to be thrown is not the pitch that got relayed to the person in the circle.
Wilson up and high to Val Romano, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-1. Cypress on top of College of the Canyons after the 2-run homer by Destiny Vasquez. Romano takes up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Her first time up, she grounded out to Chapman at short. Second time up, deep fly ball into center field. That ended up being a bases clearing triple that gave Cypress the lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. This one's a strike right down the middle, and it's 2-1.
You know, I've often, and I've talked to so many D1 coaches at the PGF about actually calling the pitches from the dugout.
That one stays too low and inside, 3-1.
You know, we even get the manager of a local pro team here that will call pitches, and we see how well he does with that in his red and white uniform. Not saying what team it is.
Next delivery home, there's a strike. So Romano works herself a 3-ball and 2-strike count.
And this is why I've never understood. And I mean, I know there's great pitchers that are pitching coaches, but to call it from a dugout, I've never understood that. I've often thought, have enough confidence in your catcher to say, hey, this is what we want to do.
Romano skies this one towards third and making the one-handed catch. Over at third base for College of the Canyons is Alexis Avila. So Romano goes down. That's only the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning, with Kiani Puailoa up next.
How many hands do you use to catch a pop fly?
2 hands.
2 hands. There we go. Ryan Osborn got that one right.
This one's up and high to Puailoa. That may be the only question I get right on my finals.
That's it. Well, I mean, I could get a discussion about this whole thing with calling pitches from the dugout. It just is another thing that I don't understand. And I know I'm not a softball coach. I get it, but
2 balls and no strikes. At the Michelle Carew Classic, we saw a couple instances where we talked to coaches and we said, Coach, do you call the pitches from the dugout? And they say no. Our catchers are at the point where they're starting to learn that they need to manage games as that one drops inside for a strike. 2-1.
And unless you've got a pitcher out there that throws 7 to 8 pitches, I mean, most of these young women are going to throw 4 maximum. Changeup, curveball, rise pitch, maybe a drop pitch, maybe a screwball.
Sarah Wilson delivers to Puailoa, who swings through it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the really good ones are going to have an out pitch. I mean, we're talking the top in D1 are going to have those out pitches.
Wilson out and away. Working the count is Puailoa. So that's 2 straight batters against Sarah Wilson, who have worked a full count. Wilson gave up the home run to Destiny Vasquez, and she'll come home with the 3-2. Over to first, making the play in time is Sienna Vanoy. The ground out over to first is the second out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-1, Cypress leads over College of the Canyons. Okazaki is up next for Cypress. And on deck is Sydney McCullum. Down at third, Alexis Avila is right on the line as that one delivers low to Okazaki. Okazaki is 0 for 2 with a walk and a ground out. Also scored in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sends this one into right field, a line drive to Heidi Ludi to end the inning. So the liner to right field ends up finishing off the inning, but 2 runs will cross on the 2-run home run by Destiny Vasquez. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. The score is 5-1. Cypress leads over College of the Canyons. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
We've got one more game today, and then we come back tomorrow with 3 games. So the loser from this game will play our early morning game tomorrow here on SportsNetUSA.net. They will take on the loser of our second game today here on SportsNetUSA.net. Then our second game will be the winner of this game against the winner of our next game. Then the winner of the first game will play the loser of the second game in our third game tomorrow on SportsNetUSA.net. That means the team that goes through the winner's bracket undefeated tomorrow will roll over automatically to our 12 noon game on Sunday. The winner of our third game will then play them. That's right, it's double elimination. So on Sunday, we have at least one game at 12 o'clock. If the team that comes in with 1 loss wins on Sunday, we will have another game on Sunday at 2 o'clock on SportsNetUSA.net. So we've got one more game today, 3 games tomorrow, and at least 1 game Sunday, all here on SportsNetUSA.net. You got that? You understand that one?
I understood a lot of softball.
Do you want to call Ryan tomorrow and tell him when he needs to be? Ryan, just spend the night with the equipment. We'll see you in the morning.
Just lie to Ryan. Just tell him that it's 30 minutes beforehand.
There we go.
So then I'll be on time. First hitter for College of the Canyons is Alexis Avila, and she pops up to center field. And the fly out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Katie Klinkenbrummer up next.
The thing that impresses me with this Cypress team, and it really is, Ed, you don't see it from Brad Pickler or anybody. Nobody panics on this Cypress team.
Well, they just play steady, methodical softball. They know what they're capable of. They just stay in their game and keep moving along, and the runs happen, just like Ryan was saying. You look up, there's 1 run, then there's 2, then there's a few more.
Once again to center field, and Okazaki is able to make the catch. 2 straight flyouts and putouts for Okazaki. Quick 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. And now College of the Canyons has 1 out to work with, as Cypress trying to finish this one off and advance to that winner's game tomorrow afternoon. Destiny Vasquez, here's 3 straight flyouts to center field as Okazaki is able to make the catch, and that will finish off the game. Final score, it is Cypress 5-1. They get the victory over College of the Canyons, and they will go over to the winner's game tomorrow afternoon as Coach Andrew Alhadeff congratulates the softball team, head coach of Cypress College basketball. Once again, final score 5-1. Cypress on top of College of the Canyons. Stay here on SportsNetUSA.net. We have another game, Santiago Canyon and Palomar, coming up next.